Good morning. This is the podcast, Ancient Rome Today. In the previous episode, we talked about the colonies and provinces of Rome. Today's topic is closely related to that argument. Today, we'll try to explain the meaning of the famous Latin phrase, divide et impera, that means divide and rule, or divide and conquer. I'll tell you right now that thanks to this technique, Rome became as great as we know it and managed to maintain the conquered territories for a long time. This episode will also feature some real-world examples of the practical application of this technique, both in ancient times and modernity. In politics, the strategy divide et impera aimed to maintain control of a territory. This could refer to already conquered territories as well as to those that were of interest to Rome. The primary purpose of divide and conquer was to split the population of a certain territory into parts, in a figurative way, obviously. The Romans invented the reasons for conflicts and rivalries within the community, usually dividing it into two groups. It was meant to provoke conflicts and disagreements between indigenous factions within the territory of interest. As a result, each group had opposing interests and political ideas, making alliances or coalitions between these factions impossible. It's necessary to mention that this technique was applied in already fragmented societies that were experiencing internal conflicts. Divide and conquer only reinforced tensions between the two social groups. Meanwhile, a dominant power like Rome would reach out to one of these peoples, offering aid and protection. In a nutshell, the divide and conquer technique enabled a colonial imperial power like Rome to govern and dominate smaller populations. So, what were the benefits of this approach for the Romans? First, divide and conquer prevented the creation of powerful alliances that could become dangerous enemies for Rome. Second, by applying this technique, the Romans acquired new territories and maintained control over those already conquered. Third, Rome's authority increased. Enough theory. Let's see real-world examples of how this concept was applied. The first example refers to Julius Caesar's conquest of Gaul. He aimed to exploit the divisions among the Gallic tribes to conquer Gaul. By strategically allying some tribes against others, Caesar managed to gradually conquer the region. The Aedui and the Sequani were two powerful tribes in Gaul. Caesar initially sided with the Aedui, then switched to the Sequani, and finally conquered both. It's important to note that Gaul was not a politically unified entity. Essentially, Gaul was a composite of tribes with distinct languages, cultures, and political systems. Now let's have a look at modern examples. The United Kingdom, during its colonial period, employed the divide and conquer strategy in India, fueling rivalries between Hindus and Muslims to prevent the formation of a united front against British rule. Today, the concept of divide and conquer is often used to describe the strategies of superpowers such as Russia, the United States, and China. These superpowers often exploit regional conflicts to prevent the rise of hostile coalitions. Similar to the Romans, they use this concept in the already fragmented societies. The example refers to the country located in Eastern Europe, named Ukraine. The concept of divide and conquer is applied by several global superpowers against it. Hope you like this episode. Thank you for your attention.